Imagine a place with beautiful ocean views, bubbling volcanoes, and century-old traditions. What I am describing is not some sort of fantasy paradise. It's in fact a country made up of small parts, trying to find its way in the world. Indonesia is a country in Southeast Asia, one that the products around you might have been shipped through, or one that you might have taken a vacation to recently. Indonesia has several important qualities, but arguably the most important one is the fact that it's separated into these small parts by water. So let's set sail. First, we'll cruise through Indonesia's economy. Then, we will dock at the local tourist trap. And finally, we will ride the waves of religion. Indonesia's economy is mostly centered on its maritime activity. Indonesia is looking to establish itself, according to the Diplomat, as a global maritime fulcrum, because so many products are shipped through the straits that separate the islands. By updating their ports, they are able to create some sort of sea toll road, where they can create revenue from the ships passing through it with products and exports. But Indonesia also has more than just water. It also has mines. Indonesia's government, according to Bloomberg, has made big deals with large corporations to create a copper mine. And then, according to Mongabay News, Indonesia's government is making a push to utilize coal power more. But then we must also focus on Indonesia's importance in the global spectrum of the economy. Indonesia is part of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, an association that is important in Asia's economic status. Another member of ASEAN is China, which provides Indonesia with a lot of foreign aid to fund infrastructure projects. However, Indonesia is not so welcome to non-Asian economic ideals, as displayed by the fact that the Central Indonesian Bank has banned the buying of digital currency like the Bitcoin. But we can't talk about Indonesia's economy without looking at tourism. Tourism is a huge part of Indonesia's revenue. Recently, in the capital, Jakarta, Forbes reported that there is a new art museum opening. Indonesia also has a lot of wildlife in their rainforest, and Channel News Asia reported that exotic birds were being smuggled out of the country because of their rarity and beauty. Another important part of Indonesia's tourism is the island of Bali, which has Mount Agung. Now, Mount Agung might sound like a really nice place with a lot of hotels and beautiful views, but in fact, it is very dangerous. In the 1960s, Mount Agung erupted and killed more than 1,000 people. Now this dangerous volcano is active again, according to the Washington Post, spewing ash up to 5 miles into the air. People are evacuating frantically to avoid the concrete that is flowing down the mountainsides from the volcano. And several countries have issued travel advisories. What's interesting here, though, is that Indonesia has been asking these countries to reduce their advisories simply because so much of their economy depends on tourism, including the simple island of Bali, whose 90% of economic revenue comes from tourism. And then there's also the fact that Indonesia is looking to target specific tourists to increase their tourism revenue. According to NPR, they are making an halal push, halal being in reference to Islamic law and practices according to Islamic law. What this means is that because Indonesia is very Muslim, they are able to easily attract Muslim tourists. Speaking of Islam, Indonesia has the largest population of Islamic people in the entire world, despite not even being close to the founding area of Islam. And the interesting thing about Indonesia's Islamic population is that they are becoming more vocal in global matters. According to Time magazine, Donald Trump, the US president, recently made the claim that Jerusalem was the Israeli capital. As you might know, Israel and Palestine are fighting over their claim to Jerusalem, Palestine being Islamic and Israel being Jewish. Now, Indonesia, also being Muslim, is supporting the Palestinians in this matter and denouncing the US, specifically Donald Trump, on their decision to support Israel. And they are in fact protesting in front of the US Embassy and asking Trump and the US to remove themselves from Jerusalem so they can once again stake their claim religiously to the area. Unfortunately, Islam has negative impacts on Indonesia also. Specifically, BBC tells us about the Orang Rimba tribe that lives in the rainforests of Indonesia. Their rights have been trampled on after years of economic growth have destroyed their native lands, and that other people from Indonesia, specifically Islamic missionaries, have come in and forcefully converted them. So, in conclusion, we have seen the importance of Indonesia today on a global scale and how much that their importance is growing in the economy and the tourism. Now, if you decide to take a trip to Indonesia soon, be wary of the fact that it might not exactly adhere to your culture, or the fact that there is a very active volcano very close to you. However, Indonesia's star is certainly rising as long as they don't blow up in a volcanic eruption. Thank you.